Like I had to DM you. I just want to say, guys, this will be an interview of me. I'm just gonna let you introduce yourself. For stars, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Toshio Nyebuchi. Uh, I do novels, short stories, essays, but most importantly, perhaps, I write comics. Most recently, Captain America: Symbol of Truth, starring Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Yes. This series, I just want to say, definitely. Wait, you give me. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, like the mic's being weird, but like this series definitely, like I have all of them, all
Oh
of them,
man.
all of them, dude. Like it's definitely one of my favorite Marvel series that I've read, and probably like it's gonna be hard to top. So I definitely, want to talk about like everything in this series, like everything that you were able to do. I feel like this is my favorite run for Captain America as a whole, like any Captain America, like not just
Oh
Sam
man.
Wilson.
Oh man, you're gonna make me blush, man.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like I genuinely and like I'm so happy because like when I'm interacting like with my community and stuff, the people who've actually read it, like they love it too. Because like I
Mm.
love making, videos about like the things that happen in them and like people love it. So I just want to say like thank you for making like such an amazing series. I kind of want to get into, so what kind of got you into, well, we'll get into comics later, but what kind of got you into writing as a whole?
Oh, it's my mom's fault, really. I was actually when I was a kid, I wanted to be a comic book artist.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, so I wanted to be a penciler. I was reading, Spider-Man 2099, of course, all the X books because it was the 90s.
oh yeah,
And I was also watching a ton of anime, so I was just drawing all the time.
right.
And then one day I must have been in like maybe third or fourth grade. Mom sees my sketches because every Christmas she would get me a sketchbook and she'd say, Toshi, you have all these characters that you're drawing. Why not write stories for them? And at the time, it was like homework to me. I was like, Mom,
Yeah.
why are you giving me homework? Can I live? But then I started writing like one paragraph summaries of their adventures, and then one paragraph became two, became three, and then they started meeting each other, and I was like, oh, this is okay. This is like low key lit.
Yeah.
um, I was starting to have fun with it, and then creative writing started to become part of the curriculum at school, starting in middle school and then going into high school. I was off to the races by then.
Yeah, that's absolutely phenomenal. So you were into comics as like when you were a kid.
Oh, bet. Like it was, oh my goodness, it was everything. And I of course I didn't have the money to be in comics, but you find a way. like,
Right, right,
the
right, right,
the
right.
Lord makes a way, what as my mom would say. Um but yeah, I and my gateway, similar to I think a lot of people of my generation, was X-Men the animated series.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Um
hear a lot of people talk about
that
that.
was like my first experience of like the Phoenix Saga. Apocalypse is one of my favorite characters, and through that I got into the comics, and this was during like the big crossover era. So you
Oh yeah,
got things like the legacy virus, phalanx, Dark Phoenix Saga, Executioner Song, which is my favorite like crossover event and storyline in all of comics. And I just appreciated how like epic and operatic, but at the same time intimate these stories were.
right.
And it's so comics have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, man. That's amazing to hear. Like when I hear people talk about like when I hear people write comics, because I'm gonna be honest, based off of the stories that you wrote before, like because you just got into writing like for Marvel and stuff, right?
Yeah, I actually it goes back to I want to say February 2021. I did
Mm,
a one shot, a domino one shot in Marvel's Voices Legacy. That was
yeah.
my first experience, not just writing for Marvel, but writing comics, period.
Oh,
And we had a black, like Ken Lashley did the art. It was a dream experience, an absolute dream experience. And so, based off of that, Marvel reached out to see if I would be interested in doing Black Panther limited series for
yeah.
younger readers. And so Black Panther Legends dropped, and it was 4 issues, and it was amazing. And I got to go deep into the Black Panther lore. I told the story of T'Challa's childhood prior to becoming Black Panther, his
Yeah.
relationship with his brother Hunter, who obviously comes back,
Yeah,
comes
that
back
was
into my
what that
life.
was crazy. That was crazy.
And then based off of Black Panther Legends, they reached out. Alana Smith, who is my editor on Cap Symbol of Truth, she reached out and was like, "Hey, so we're thinking of doing this thing. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Say less."
Yeah, no,
And that's
wow.
how Symbol of Truth came about.
Yeah, I'm curious. Were you like? Because I'm not gonna lie, reading Captain America: Symbol of Truth, like it felt so real. It
Mm.
just felt so real. Like, were you interested in the character of Sam Wilson prior to writing?
Yeah, I think he's a fascinating character, and I think part of what makes him so fascinating is that he's like a regular dude. Like he don't got no adamantium, he don't got no superpower, like except for being able to talk to birds.
Yeah,
Like that's it, and yet he's able to go toe to toe with so many people. And also too, one of the things that really interested me about Cap in the comics as opposed to Cap in the MCU is that, in the MCU, he has like a military background and everything, but
right,
Cap in the comics, Sam Wilson in the comics, he's a social worker. Like he did social work in Harlem. That's where he came up. He was embedded in his community.
right.
And he like that was how he interacted with people. And so I was fascinated about what's it like for him to exist in a world where most people just try to punch their way out of problems.
Right. Right. Yeah, that is awesome. Like, speaking of there's so much to talk, like so much things happen. It's insane. I'm trying to figure out like which one do I talk about first? Like, it's so insane. So I just address this first. So you say Sam Wilson is a regular dude. Now, I'm not gonna lie, man. There's a lot of fights that happen in this series, and they're all amazing. 99% of people, like me, we were on our tippy toes for every last one of them.
Hmm.
But some people don't really agree with you that Sam is a regular dude.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. So a lot of people, I've made I've made like a bunch of videos, like just like expressing my love, like for like some of the fights that happen. Specifically issue 5. Issue 5 was my favorite in the series. It was just
Mm.
the dialogue, the art, everything is just amazing. But there are some people that think that Sam Wilson is a super soldier. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just asking you. Like, I feel
No,
kind of
yeah,
crazy
no, I
asking,
mean,
but like, I just feel like
no,
maybe,
it's a legit question because, like, over the course of the series, he goes toe to toe with Black Panther, and he's not wearing a suit.
yeah,
He, there issue 13 is the big Cap fight. Like,
yeah,
it's like, how is Sam Wilson doing all this? And of course, like I've seen some of the videos, and it goes deep into the lore with Heroes Reborn and all of
right.
that. Let me just say, I can neither confirm nor deny. All I'm saying is that like Sam Wilson's got it like that. Like he's down for the smoke. Like, and that's the thing is like I don't know if people really like. It's kind of like one of the big tropes I appreciate in anime is like the Rock Lee trope where it's like, look, I'm ready to fight. Like I ain't got no trigrams, I ain't got no Jinchuriki, I ain't got no Sharingan. All I got is these hands.
For real, like, yeah,
And
yeah,
I will serve them. At the same time though, like I don't want to take away from any of the speculation because to be perfectly honest, like as a fan, that speculation is some of my favorite parts of being in the comic community.
that
It's
is
like,
true.
yo, so does he or does he not have the super soldier serum? Like, I don't want to put an end to those conversations because it's like being in the barbershop and like somebody's like, okay, name your top 5 rappers, dead or alive or whatever.
Right,
Like that's not the most like intellectually rigorous question in the world. There's like, is there a right answer to that, right? But the conversation can be so much fun and can be so interesting, and you can learn so much from it that I don't in any way shape or form want to take away from it. So my answer to your question, is Sam Wilson a super soldier, is I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay. Like I appreciate that answer. It's definitely gonna stir up more questions and stuff. But at the end of the day, that's what makes comics fun. Like I'm happy you said that because like we would be at the lunch table like in like kindergarten or like
Mhm.
first grade. Like who would win, Cap or Batman? And some
Mhm.
people are like, Batman doesn't have
Mhm.
any powers, and I'm like, I don't care. He's Batman. That's why he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I started saying that literally on the video where like I showed Sam like literally beating the brakes out of Steve. People were asking me, Shine, like how was he able to do that? Isn't Sam human? And I said he's able to do it because he's Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah,
literally just said that.
he's saying, well, he's that dude. He's
Yeah,
that dude.
he's about that life. Like I literally like one of the funniest parts in the comics like was when like that whole thing with Crossbones where like Crossbones is just talking a bunch of stuff and Sam just like punches him in the
Yeah,
face. Like that
he's
was that was hilarious. Like I like it was I'm just like he's about that life.
yeah.
He's just about that life. So overall everything in the run is just it's absolutely amazing. Talking about issue 5 further though, why
Mhm.
it's my favorite comic, specifically the dialogue between Sam and T'Challa. While well, number one, let's get to the first part. Now, so like I remember every single page so clearly. They start fighting. T'Challa's upset. He doesn't want Sam in his country. Sam just trying to help people out and just do the right thing. And they start fighting. Sam is holding his own. No, he's getting overpowered, but he's holding his
Mhm.
own. And T'Challa sends this man through a tree, through an entire tree, crazily.
Mhm.
And I remember that scene, like I literally, bro, I have it as my wallpaper, bro. I have it as my
Yeah.
wallpaper.
Yeah.
Sam
Oh,
gets
that's so
back,
ill.
literally, Sam gets back up and says, you can stop calling me Sam Wilson. I'm Captain America and I could do this all damn day. What inspired that? Like that's peak. Like I swear, I'm not kidding. When that page came up, that made me feel the same way how I felt when Cap wielded Mjolnir in Endgame. I'm so serious.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
well, what
dog.
inspired that? I need to know. It was amazing.
Dog, first of all, to get that comparison is like the biggest compliment because that moment is iconic. For me, it was like this series and particularly that first arc was all about establishing Sam Wilson as Captain America. Like he's not a second Captain America. He's not a temporary Captain America. He's
Right.
not filling no one's shoes. Like he is Captain America. And I think giving him that iconic line is part of that mission to make him be able to like quite literally stand on his own.
Right.
And it was and it happening when it did felt to me like it was because like one of the things that I wanted to avoid was any sort of throat clearing, like all the sort of not my Captain America stuff, like
Right.
all the oh, what is it like to be a black Captain America? Like that
Yeah.
that stuff's already been done. And
Yeah.
like I wasn't interested in answering the question of why. I mean, we'll get to that later with the, with the story I did in 750, but I wanted to start from the position of Sam Wilson as Captain America, and this being like one of his first, at least in this run, one of his first real challenges to that. And he just like he's 10 toes down and he's like, nah, I am Captain America and I can do this all damn day.
Yeah, for real. It truly it truly was magnificent. That's definitely I think that is probably I don't think I don't know, just the significance of that line. Like I feel like all of Sam Wilson's history beforehand has been building up to that exact line. So
Mm,
I will say that's my favorite. I'm comfortable saying that's my favorite line in comics because like I feel like all of his
mm.
history has just been building up to that. And I feel like,
Dog, that's so real.
yeah, yeah. Like I feel like a lot of people will really, really like see. Oh yeah, he is Captain America. I ain't gonna lie. Like, so yeah, like that part was amazing. And even the part after when they continue fighting, and when Black Panther is caught up like in the birds in the air and stuff,
Mhm.
which a lot of people were so bad about. They were like, "Come on, man! All it takes is a flock of birds to take out Black Panther." People were like, "Come on!" Like it was really funny. But like that part was so interesting because Sam is straight like you know what Sam was just telling him about, like
Mm-hmm.
how, you guys, our lives were completely different. We're both black men, but our lives were completely different. And the only reason why was because you got the meteor and we didn't. Like you could have done
Mm.
a lot more for everyone else, all of the black people in America and other countries, but you didn't. You know what I mean? And the whole time, like T'Challa just like silent, like he has no he
Mm-hmm.
has no choice but to like kind of accept what he's saying. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to know like what was the thought process, when writing that? Like what kind of was the inspiration
Oh
there?
man. I've been wanting to write that conversation for ages. And it's something that it's something that's been on my mind too, because like whenever I write, and not just in comics, I have to have my characters grounded in their socio-political situation. So like, Sam Wilson is Captain America, but it's not like I can ignore the fact that he's a black guy from Harlem, right?
Right.
And Wakanda in my mind exists in a situation where there's famine in Africa and the countries surrounding it, or like slavery, colonialism, all of that. Like Wakanda still exists in the midst of that in my head canon. And so this conversation to me was the culmination or the buildup of a lot of things that I'd been thinking about with regards to Wakanda's relationship with like diasporic Africans and African Americans and people of African descent. And that was actually a running sort of subplot in that first arc with the Wakandan Forever movement. Because Sam's like, all these people that want to go to this supposed safe haven, you know, of course they're going because their life is so bad here. And like, I get it, but like, them wanting to go there means that I'm not doing a good enough job. And that to me was a very interesting perspective to explore. Um, and so so much of it culminates in Sam and T'Challa, who in certain ways can mirror each other.
Right.
And the reason that they are on the path that they're on is literally because like one got the meteor and the other didn't. And
Right.
what would Sam Wilson, what would his life have been like if that meteor had like landed in Harlem, right?
Yeah.
Or like if their situations were flipped. And so that was a really important conversation for me to ask.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely. Speaking, I find it funny how you just said "what if." I would love for Marvel if they would hire,
Oh my
if they
goodness.
would let you write a "what if," like if the roles were kind of reversed, that
Damn.
would be amazing.
As soon as I said that, I was like, hmm.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, I thought it was interesting, and I did see, that like they mirror each other in a lot of ways. And for first, I kind of have to ask, did you read like the entirety of like the Black Panther run?
Not the entirety of it, a lot of it, in part because I had to do my research for Black Panther Legends, but
Yeah.
I've read a lot of it, particularly, the Christopher Priest run, Ta-Nehisi Coates with Intergalactic Empire, all of that. So I can't say that I'm like the walking Wikipedia of all things Wakanda. Um,
Yeah.
but like, I did my homework.
Yeah, so yeah, did you read like his like new run? The like well not
Yeah.
like the new one, but like the 2021 that kind of ties into yours?
Oh, do you mean not the Ridley run? Are you talking about the Ridley run?
Oh, yeah, 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 Ridley, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I've read some of the Ridley one, and part of that was because I wanted to make sure, for continuity's sake, that I wasn't putting T'Challa and Wakanda in a situation that contradicted what was going on with them politically in Ridley's run.
Right.
Because I didn't want I wanted it all to feel seamless. And in that run, T'Challa is very much like on the outs, and he's it's a sort of exile, and Wakanda's in the situation of like political transition, and all of this stuff is happening. And so that's part of why T'Challa's appearance is like kind of mysterious, as opposed to him being part of the official delegation that Shuri's leading, that officially expels Sam from Wakanda.
Yeah, yeah. I genuinely thought I thought it was really interesting because like I definitely agree 100% that like they mirror each other a lot. And I found specifically it was Which issue? It was dang, I forgot the issue number. But like when I edit this, I'll probably put it up. But I know it was Captain America 750, like the story that you wrote in the
Hmm.
beginning. And it was like Black Panther issue, I think 12 or 11.
Mm.
It was 11 or 12. But basically, how they kind of like I found the really cool parallel. I didn't see anyone like noticing or talking about it, where Black, I feel like in Black Panther's run, he's kind of being humbled in a way, like realizing, like,
Hmm.
wow, like I made a lot of mistakes. Like I'm not like the king, and like I've like kind of realizing his past mistakes and kind of like you know
Hmm.
simmering
Hmm.
down and like for the betterment of his character. And I feel like Sam Wilson, I feel like him on the opposite side, like he's kind of realizing like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm Captain America. Like I don't need, like I can do this. I can fight for my own, and I don't, I'm not just like, oh, he's the black Captain America or like he's this. No, like you said. And I thought a conversation in 750, where Sam is talking to Misty Knight. And Misty is just, like matter of fact, could you just talk about that for a second, please? That was like really, really
Yeah.
cool. It was great.
Oh man, yeah. So when it was time to figure out what to do for 750, I remembered that we never really, up until that point, we never really explained how Sam got his new shield.
Yeah.
Um, he just starts out in Cap Zero with the shield, and like he's Captain America. We don't explain like what really led to all of that. We just start off with him and Steve defeating Arnim Zola. And so 750 was an opportunity for me to really explain how the series came about. And I wanted it because there's so much action in the series, and it's got this like spy thriller tone to it, and lots of explosions and all that. I wanted to play around with a sort of quieter issue, or majority quieter issue.
Yeah.
There are explosions towards the end.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I wanted it to be a much more personal issue, and him having that conversation with Misty in particular is very important because of their relationship. But I wanted to get into Sam Wilson's sort of self-doubt, which is what you're alluding to, his self-doubt with regards to taking up the mantle, but also position it as a specifically Sam Wilson thing where you know he's in a position where he's had the shield before, but he's had to give it up.
Yeah.
And what does it mean for a person to be in that position? And I feel like it's something that's analogous to what a lot of black folk face, which is like they'll get something, but one of the first things that they'll think when they get it is like, okay, how long do I have this before it's taken away from me?
Right.
And that, I think, in the context of the shield, is super, super, super powerful, because it's not just Cap thinking about what it means to be a symbol. It's not about like you know Sam trying to realize the burden of standing up for the downtrodden, because he's already doing that. Like he's
Yeah.
already doing that. He's already done that. What's a new reason to explore for his hesitance with regards to taking up the shield? And that self-doubt was, for me, a really important aspect to explore. And on the flip side, another important aspect to explore was the validation that was coming from all these different people that he didn't even know about.
Yeah, that was
Like, he
so
had
cool.
no idea. Like, all these people are like, "Yo, no, it's like, it has to be you. Like, it has to be you." And that, to me, was super important, because I think part of Sam's thing, like, he has a reputation sometimes as like a lone wolf, but a lot of his stories are about community. And that's one of the
Right.
reasons why I wanted to partner him with Joaquin for the series,
Yeah.
is that this isn't this like, sure, Sam may have a reputation as a lone wolf, but like I also wanted to see him interact with like having a partner. What does that mean? Like, especially being in a sort of mentor role. What does that mean? What does it mean being part of a community,
Yeah.
particularly a community as diverse as the Avengers? He's with the Avengers now. And like, what does it mean to place Sam in those situations? And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to write that story for 750, and also because it answers a very important continuity question,
Oh yeah,
which is
yeah.
how he got that shield.
Yeah, yeah, the shield looks I can't wait to see that in live action. Hopefully we need to see that one
Mm,
day. It's genuinely like amazing. And but yeah, I thought that was so cool because I noticed in like Black Panther, I think it was issue 11 or 12, one of them. Black Panther goes through a similar moment as Sam, where but except
mhm,
he's talking to like his friend slash brother. And basically like his brother's basically saying like be king. Come on, like be the king of Wakanda. Because at this point, like Wakanda's like we've had enough
mhm,
of you. Like he's like, come
mhm.
on, take the throne as king, be king. And T'Challa just like at the end of the comic, he's just like no, like I'm not king. Like I'm not cut out like I'm not cut out for this. You know what I mean? He accepts not being king, and I find it cool because like it's like a parallel where Sam is
Mhm.
talking to Misty, but at the end of that comic, Sam accepts being Captain America. So like I
Yeah.
just find I would love for like one thing I've been reading the new Avengers run, and while I think the run is amazing, the interaction between Black Panther and Sam, like Black Panther is still like it's kind of being like disrespectful, like saying like calling him Sam. Well, I think he called him Falcon. He said, "Hey Falcon, do this or whatever," and Sam had to tell him again, "Bro, I'm Captain America, bro. We've been through this before." I was like,
Yeah,
"Come on,
we've been
man!
through
Like,
this.
why can't they be homies? Why can't they be friends?
Yeah, no,
Come
and,
on,
like,
man."
that's part of it too, is there is I did want to write a level of respect between them, or at least, like, mutual respect, because after that fight in 5, T'Challa comes to Harlem and talks
Yeah,
with Sam and is like, "Look, you know, I get why you did what you did, what Shuri did and what the prime minister did in expelling all those, immigrants from Wakanda was wrong, but you got to understand, if my country's under threat, I'll tear through literally anything and anybody to like get it done. But there is that level of respect between them. And so it was very important for me to like have that in there because I didn't want them to be enemies. Like, as interesting a story as that might be one day to explore, I did not want them to be enemies. Like,
yeah.
and maybe they're not homies, but like they do respect each other.
Right, yeah, that mutual respect was absolutely awesome. When I one day like I thought when I saw issue the cover for issue 14, when I saw Black Panther on it, I was like, whoa, Black Panther's gonna be back in it. I was like, whoa, like I was shivering down. I was like, oh, Danny wasn't in. I was so sad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, we'll definitely talk about issue 14 later because that issue
Mm,
like like there's so much new stories with Sam Wilson. Like
yeah.
but we'll get into that though. But I kind of want to talk about Cold War because Cold
Mm.
War was really really good. Like I was like it was really really good. I kind of want to so like what was the idea because obviously you had to kind of work with, the writers and the creators of,
Mhm.
Sentinel of Liberty and stuff and like everything tied together, everyone came together and that was amazing. I would love to see a movie
Thank
based
you.
on that event alone. It
Oh
was
my
great.
goodness.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like so what kind of inspired that and kind of like what were the conversations, you know what I mean? Like about, creating that. And how did you kind of feel about the story as a whole?
Yeah, we knew we like had it wasn't even a matter of wanting to do a crossover. We had to do a crossover. You
Yeah.
got 2 cat books, you gotta crash them together at some
Right.
point.
Right.
Like, and I think the point at which we did it, where both books had the space to do 2 full arcs, um, gave us enough time to establish our caps in their respective worlds before bringing them together like this. And we'd started laying runway with bringing Ian Rogers back, putting him back on the table. And you know I knew that one of the most important things that we had to accomplish in the crossover was that we had, because Sam and Steve are such different Captains America,
Right.
we had to have their philosophies sort of clash in a sense,
Yeah.
because the shield means different things to each of them. And also too, Steve coming back to Dimension Z, which is a place that has a lot of trauma for him,
Yeah.
That's going to throw him off balance, and Sam is very much like the voice of reason there. So I'm honored I got to write a Cap fight. Very, very, very honored to have written a Cap fight. It was so much fun. It's like, and I knew there, there's a heavy burden that comes with that, but like I gladly shouldered it. But it was really interesting because both books were so different, but in their own ways, like operating on parallel tracks. Like Sam Wilson's very much the public facing Captain America. He's the Captain America that's going out into the world, whereas Steve was going on a much more personal journey
Right.
and, you know, diving deep into his own history and, sort of experiencing New York on a, from the ground up type of level as well. And so how could we get their journeys to get close to each other and then to cross? And so that was a lot of fun to figure out. Working with Jackson and Colin, oh my goodness,
Absolutely amazing.
their energy is so infectious. They're incredible, incredible, incredible writers. And so it was a lot of fun. Like the crossover was a lot of fun. And it was really fun to bring our villains together
Oh
too.
yeah, that was
Um,
cool. That was really cool.
yeah, that was so much fun. So yeah, it was a good experience. It was a very, very, very good experience overall. And like I'm really happy. And also too, like Misty got all the best lines. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah. It
yeah.
was like the part that was so funny when she it was Steve that was questioning her. Steve was basically asking like, "Hey, like you're human. Like, how are you doing all this?" And he was like, she was like, "Yeah, Angela Bassett's workout routine. That's all." Like that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
That's one of my favorite lines to have written in the entire series. Like
Yeah,
the entire series.
yeah, that was funny.
Um but yeah, no, it was really fun to write. Again, it was another situation where Sam's sort of out of his comfort zone. But one of the things that I appreciated about the series was that, you know, we've experienced so little of Sam as Captain America up until this point that I literally could do like whatever I wanted and it
Yeah,
would be canon. Like I could take Sam wherever and it was likely a place he hadn't been before. And
right.
so it was really fun to push that to the limit. And I think Dimension Z was definitely a cool place for that.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like another funny experience because like, dude, the cap when the two captains fight, that was so cool.
Mm.
But I remember, I mean, I just wanted to share this with you because I think you would really have a good laugh. I remember I made a video about it, like saying like, guys, they're fighting. This is so cool. And I remember someone commented saying, wow, I can't believe Sam is fighting like his brother like that. Like that's so man, Bucky would never do that. And I was like, like he literally said Bucky would never
Do
do
you,
that. I was like, do you know what
do you
Bucky's doing now? Like it was
do
so
y'all not understand? Bucky shot Steve through the chest.
that's what I'm saying. Like it was so funny. And like his comment, like he ratioed me on my own his comment had like
Yeah.
100 likes. I'm like, yo, and my reply had like 5 likes, and somebody replied to my comment, man, that's not true. You're lying. Like I'm like,
That's wild. It's Bucky literally shot Steve through the chest and had his son kidnapped.
yeah,
Like,
that was yeah, it's so
he
crazy,
shot Steve
man.
through the chest.
That was crazy, bro. Like,
Yeah, no, it's like I mean, seeing that comment, Jackson and Colin would like a word. Like,
for real. Like, I'm like, come on, man. Like, why y'all like at least read it first? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. But
that's hilarious.
yeah, I was crying when I saw that. But yeah, I genuinely overall Cold War as a whole was just super amazing. Like seeing White Wolf.
Mm.
How long has it been since we actually saw White Wolf again? Like, I forgot. It's been a long time.
Fam, yeah, it's so funny. So the history with him, I learned about him when I was doing my research for Black Panther Legends,
Oh yeah,
and it absolutely blew my like when I found this character, Hunter, and I was like, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. You're telling me, you're telling me that T'Challa has an older brother who's adopted and who's white.
yeah,
And we're just not going to talk about this.
yeah.
Like
That's
we're just
that's
not going to
crazy.
talk.
Yeah,
Like we're
yeah,
we're just not going to talk about this. And so I had to bring him back for Black Panther Legends, and that was, I think, 2021. Um, and I knew I wasn't done with that character. I knew there was no way that I was leaving him like off the table. I knew I had to bring him back, and so I brought him back as the main villain for Symbol of Truth. And for me, part of it was like I wanted to give Sam his own Red Skull. Like I wanted
Yeah.
him to have like his own arch nemesis. And Hunter is so perfectly positioned for that, in part because of his backstory, his positioning in the current Marvel universe. You know, the fact that the stuff that he stands for is diametrically opposed to what Sam stands for. When
Yeah.
they have their throwdown at the end of the second arc, Pax Mahonda, like that's literally opposite, like complete opposites crashing together. And so it was like there was no way that I was not bringing him back. There was no
Yeah.
way I was
Like
not bringing him back.
yeah, I'm super happy that you did. Like a lot of people were like, "Wow, we're seeing Hunter for the first time, like in such a long time." And just the writing for him as a whole was just amazing. Like that man, like he was doing some vicious things. I ain't gonna lie. Like when they went to
Fam,
Mohanda and all of
savage.
that, like it was crazy.
Fam.
And my favorite matter of fact, where's that cover, dude? This it was this one. No. Dang, man. Where are these? Oh yeah. This one, dude. Like this one, that cover was
Mm.
cool. Like that the fight in issue 11, that was really, really
Oh
awesome.
man. Yeah, no, that was a really dope fight to write. And also too, I have to I haven't shouted him out yet, but I have to super big up RB Silva, who did the art for most of the series. Like it working with him was an absolute dream. Like I would throw whatever at him, and like it got to the point I would get pages from him and be like, yo, this doesn't even need dialogue. Like what am I even doing here? Like
Yeah, for real. Like
you told the whole story with your art. Like this is ridiculous. But every time I would get pages from him, I'd be like, I can't believe this is my job. But like shouts out to him for really taking this stuff to the absolute next level. Because it's funny, I'm writing the scenes and I can see them in my head, but then when I see them on the page, I'm like, yo,
yeah,
yo.
yeah, and like I genuinely think like this should not be a hot take at all, but I think this is the best Sam as Captain America has been like illustrated, in my opinion, because
Oh,
like
thank you. Thank you.
like everything, like the art overall, everything like just like is amazing. Like I really like because I don't know why like when I'm reading previous comics, like when they draw Sam, he kind of like all I'm gonna say is like I almost don't blame people for saying that's not my Captain America because like I don't know why like he looks kind of like I can't put my finger on it, but he almost looks like Robin or something like as in
Yeah,
like
well,
he doesn't have that pizzazz like he does in this series. Like in this series, he looks like man like man y'all don't
like,
want it.
and I gotta also shout out Jesus who did colors for us. And
Oh
it's like
yeah, the colors are
it was super, especially with Joaquin's storylines, like it was very important for me to have black and brown characters throughout this
right.
run, right? And so especially Joaquin's storyline with the maquilladoras in the first arc, like seeing the way that RB and and Jesus did those women, like it just really it made me, and like Joaquin's cousin Luisa, like it made me really, like there were times where I would get choked up because I was like, I don't know that I've seen this in comics before.
Right.
And like the way there's so much dignity in the way that they drew these characters. And I think that speaks to what you're talking about with regards to Sam, is like they we all treated these characters with the utmost dignity. And that I think is one of the things I'm most proud of with the series.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like everything, even with Joaquin, like I feel like a lot of people, like we're forgetting to talk about like his entire arc, with,
Mm,
like his transformation. I'm just gonna say transformation.
yeah.
Yeah, like it's really interesting, and like I was gonna wait to the end of it, like to kind of say this, but like I don't even like. So I'm just gonna say it right now because like I really can't wait. But like
Go
so
ahead.
yeah, so my least favorite comic in a whole thing is definitely issue 14, and the reason why is because there was no trailer for the next run. Like
Yeah.
we didn't get any hint of the
Yeah.
future. So I'm just gonna ask you, like, from what you can tell us, is there
Mhm.
any future of you writing for this character, or to the very least, like him getting a new run soon? Because like I would pay triple the price if need be. Like
Oh, fam.
it's
No, I it makes me really happy to hear that. Yeah, no, we were all heartbroken when the call came on from on high that the run would be ending with 14. Um and because we had so much more story planned for both Sam and Joaquin, but like the call came from above us, and like
yeah.
those are that's it's above our pay grade where those conversations are happening. um, I would love to come back and write more Sam because there's stuff that I want to do with Sam and Joaquin and Misty especially.
Yeah.
That would be really dope and that I haven't seen before. But for now, this is the extent of my run with Sam Cap.
Yeah, man, that's that's obviously it's, but like I mean, all great
But we
things.
wanted to make sure that we wrapped it up in a very important and meaningful fashion too. Like that was part of it. It was like we wanted to make sure now that we knew that 14 was the end, we had to make sure that we stuck the landing with it.
Right, 100%. Yeah, and like you did that perfectly. I was just like so subtle, like dang, like so like
So
I
what
had to,
happens next?
yeah, I had to double check. Like, did I miss a page where like it says like, oh, the next saga begins in September or something? Did I miss a page? I was like, oh no, I didn't. Like, yeah, it sucked, but all great things must come to an end. I really like genuinely. I hope if he ever gets a new run, I hope it's like you and the same team to write it. And
Mm,
I hope that, if someone else happens to write in new illustrators, I hope that, they put their all into it just like you guys did. Because you guys did an amazing job. And speaking on Misty for a second, I kind of want to talk about, Misty and Sam. That relationship as a whole was just like it was amazing. It was absolutely
mm.
amazing. I've read like kind of like Sam's past comics as Captain America, and like him and Misty like they're kind of like they're like there's a bit a lot of physical touch for friends, and like they're
Yeah,
pretty
there's a
close.
lot of will they, won't they? Yup,
Yeah,
yup.
yeah, yeah. But like you just said, all right, like let's stop, stop the leaving on red and all of that. Nah, we're there together. So I kind of want to like
Mhm.
I want to say thank you for that because we don't really have enough of black love, in comics. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, and whenever we do kind of get it, it's kind of like, oh, they're getting into fights. They don't know like what's gonna happen or
Mhm.
whatever. You know, T'Challa and Storm is kind of like a good example of that. Like
Mhm.
but you fully established like these characters together, and like it's amazing. This is another basically what I need are the conclusion of this interview is I need you to just write a movie about this. That's like I notice with
Yo, fam.
every comic I'm
Marvel
just
cut the
saying I
check.
need to see it in live action. Every comic. It's
Like Marvel Studios cut the check. You heard it here first.
yeah,
Like,
like that's
no,
pretty
but
much
like
what yeah, go ahead, go
to
ahead.
your point, Black Love is very important to me too. And I saw a wonderful opportunity with Sam and Misty to really put that stuff on the page and also to have it done in a meaningful fashion that doesn't diminish Misty at all. Cause I
Right.
know in a lot of these relationships, sometimes especially given that the majority of comics are written by straight dudes,
Yeah.
right? And I myself am a straight dude. A lot of these partnerships, the woman or the female identifying character is often sort of relegated as like sidekick or like relegated off to the side, or they're diminished, or they're like not as important as or even as powerful as the male character. And I wanted, whenever I had Sam and Misty on the page, I wanted them to be on equal footing with
Right.
each other. Like I wanted Misty to be in a position where she challenges Sam, and not like punches him, challenges him, but like
Yeah.
challenges him on his beliefs and on his where he stands personally on things and on his decisions that he makes, but for all of it also to come from a place of love,
Right.
like that to be the core of their relationship. And so it was very important for me to have that where you know it's love, but it's not just like physical fan service love. It's like meaningful, deep, like we're ride or die for each other type love.
Right, like I felt that throughout like the entire I felt that 100%. Like they really had like their connection was just so interesting. It wasn't just like you know, like you said, like it was more like it was a partnership in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like an actual, you know, equal footing, like you said. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I really, really hope to see more of them together. Like I need to see them get married, you know what I'm saying? Like something, you know.
Well, it's like they like and what's wild to me was like they both grew up in Harlem, and
Yeah.
it's like they, you know, and Harlem's not a huge place, right? So it's like they probably know so many of the same spots. You know, their parents probably took them shopping in a lot of the same spots. Maybe even they went to churches like a couple blocks from each other. Like
Right.
that's they have so many things in common. And I think, you know, should I be fortunate enough to, you know, to continue writing Sam as Cap, like that's prime real estate for me to explore, because when you have people that share a history with a place like that, and so intensely too, like it's not like they were born in Harlem and then grew up somewhere else, or born in Harlem and then just went off and started immediately having adventures. No, their formative years were spent in Harlem. And so what does that mean for the two of them? What does that mean for their bond? Like that would be something that I'm also just like really, really, really excited to explore, should I get the chance.
Yeah, for real, man. Like, overall, like, I genuinely, I feel like, something I don't like about reading comics is like whenever you, especially when you're watching these movies and stuff, like, cause like whenever, especially you know,
Mhm.
great series like this, I'm like, come on, man, like, can we get this in live action? But like, you know, I don't know if we're even gonna see Misty. I don't know when we're gonna see her in the MCU. I don't know, cause like, have you watched the Netflix, like the series, the Marvel series on Netflix?
Um, yes. Was it are you talking the Defenders
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, yeah, Misty Knight was on there, and I was like, dude, like when I, it was so funny. I made a video where I was like, hey guys, hey, like MCU and America: New World Order. Well, now it's Brave New World, but in this movie, this will be a perfect time. Once I'm ready to run, I was like, all right, let's introduce Misty Knight from the Defenders verse to the MCU and let that relationship, you know, like, but I just you know, I really would like to you know see that. And now I kind of want to ask did you kind of take any inspiration from the MCU Sam Wilson, you know, Captain America at all, like even if it's just like a little bit, do you take any inspiration from that?
I mean, not really, because like going in, my big, like maybe my only ironclad rule was that the comics and the MCU are separate,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're two totally different things, right? And like
Right.
sure, the MCU is built on the comics and like takes their stories from you know, we saw that with Infinity War, even with
Right.
WandaVision. Like
Yeah.
WandaVision is basically like Tom King's run on Vision
Yeah, pretty
plus like
much.
House of M, right? Like that's what WandaVision is. But like I didn't want to find myself in a position where I depended on MCU lore or even like tonally anything from the MCU, because I wanted to make sure, because to me the comics are the more important thing. Like MCU exists because of the comics, and
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
want it and I didn't want it to ever feel like it was vice versa. Like I
Right,
didn't
right.
want to feel like Symbol existed because of the MCU. Like I wanted to and part of it is like reasserting the dominance of the source material.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Just thank you for saying that because like it kind of disappoints me. Like I hear when certain like when they say oh we didn't read any comics when
Oh, it's
making
like,
this
come
series. I was
on.
like why
Why would you do like why would you that'd be like somebody who was nominated for like best adapted screenplay at the Oscars being like, "Yeah, no, I didn't read the book." And
yeah
it's like, what
like
did you like what how are you
I,
even
yeah I don't like yeah that's that it breaks my heart. Like when I saw that, I was scrolling on Twitter. I saw that. Like I'm like, yo, like that hurt me. I'm like, man, come
Yeah,
on.
respect the source material. Like, yeah,
Yeah, you know
cuz
what I'm
like
saying?
here's the thing, when people see your thing, they're going to know, and they're going to see it. They're going to see whether or not you actually did your homework, whether or not you read. And we're not saying you have to be experts on it. Like, we're
Right.
not saying you have to, be walking Wikipedias or nothing, but like respect the material that you're adapting, right? Because we can tell when we see a thing, we can tell, whether or not there is that respect for it, whether or not there is that care taken to do good by it.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, this one. All right, so I kind of want to ask you this. Would you ever, because since we're talking about, like respecting the source material and like these brands and stuff, would you ever like write comics or say like DC or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if the check is right. No, I mean, like,
Nah, I mean
you
that's
know, I
facts.
I came up a Marvel head, like I got much love for Marvel, but like, again, if the bag is right, like I'm down for whatever, whether it's DC Image, whether it's a, creator owned shingle. Um like I'm because for me, I love the medium. I love the medium. And granted, Marvel has like a ton of characters I would have absolutely a ton of fun writing,
Yeah,
but like so do other places, right? And
yeah.
so I don't ever want to limit myself there because also too I'm not trying to block any blessings.
Right, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I really I appreciate you saying that, man, because a lot of people there's a lot of characters one in those other universes that like
Mhm.
I think you would I think you would do an amazing job with. I'm not gonna say no names, but like
Yeah.
I think I'm not gonna name the characters, but like I just know there's a lot of characters that you would do an
Yeah.
amazing job with. But yeah, I really appreciated this overall run. Like, so I have a question. So, what would you suggest to someone who's like kind of breaking into the industry of like writing comics, whether it's creating their
Mm.
own comics or writing for like companies like like Marvel, for example?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say like really hold on to what you love about storytelling. I
Right.
would say like more than any sort of tangible advice, whether like with regards to, I don't know, like portfolios or getting work out there, like really, you know, and even more than like hone your craft, even though like that's important, but that can mean different things to different people. But I would say like try to maintain your love of what you're doing, because when like the business stuff comes and when like opportunities come or whatever, there's going to be all this other stuff that you'll have to deal with. But if you can
Yeah.
hold on to your love of the thing, that'll make it all the more important. And I will say too, like the way that I got into writing, like one of the things that initially was frustrating about comics was that there's no single point of entry, right? There's no path, right?
Yeah,
There's
that's
no like, okay, you do this and then you do that and then you go to this place and da 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 da, and then you're in, right? There's no process. And so for me, the way that it worked was I started getting novels published and people started reading the novels, and those novels started popping up on the desks of editors at Marvel, right? Like,
yeah.
and shout out to, I'm not going to say her name, I'm not going to put her on blast, but a very 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 dear friend of mine who I interned at Marvel with back in like 2011
Oh
was
wow.
instrumental in getting my name in the ears of editors at Marvel. So like that was that like I it would be absolutely criminal if I didn't like shout her out. But like a lot of it is trying to figure out other ways of getting other like modes of storytelling to get your name out there, whether it's publishing short stories in places, whether it's writing novels, whether it's like what have you, so that people can see that you know what you're doing. And before I wrote in comics, I'd never written in comics, right? So like that too can feel like a barrier to entry where it's like, oh man, they're only hiring people who've already written in comics. I've never
Yeah.
written in comics before. But like places like Marvel's Voices are like they're instrumental in reaching out to people that have never worked in comics before, but that have proven themselves as storytellers in other media, right? Like there are opportunities in places like that. And I would say just like do what you can to prove that you know what you're doing in other spaces so that when the time comes you're ready, because that's another thing too is like people may get an opportunity that shows up at their doorstep but they're not ready.
Yeah.
And that can be like that can be the thing that hurts more than like not getting the opportunity in the first place.
Right. Yeah. I completely, because like I'm sure we've all experienced that, where like something comes at your doorstep and like you just weren't ready. So yeah, I definitely really appreciate that, because like I would love to write because like it's always amazing to talk about these characters. Like there's so
Mhm.
much like imaginative things with it. And like to put those things on papers, and like have it published for everyone to read, like that's always
Yeah.
just amazing. And that's why I feel like a lot of fans, like I feel like people take these comics a bit too serious. I feel like some people forget like that this is a like this is fiction, because
And it's fun. Like it's
yeah.
supposed to be fun. Like it's like that's a big part of it too. Is like I and the whole team, we had so much fun working on this. Like we treated it seriously. It was our job and we treated it seriously and we cared about these characters and we wanted to do right by them. But at the end of the day, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing.
Right,
Like that's my
exactly.
rule of thumb. If it's not fun, it's not worth it. As soon as I stop having fun with the thing, I got to put it down. I got to move on to the next thing. I got to say goodbye to it. If it's not fun, it's not worth doing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I definitely agree with that. With Sam, and yeah. Speaking of like referring to the run, like your run about it, like when Sam is like fighting these characters, these high tier characters, when he's beating them and stuff. Like I feel like I kind of want to know your, because me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I find it kind of strange in my opinion, because like well not your run, but people's reactions, because like
Mhm.
when people see Sam, beating, Steve, like
Mhm.
socking Bucky, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
socking
Yeah.
Crossbones, which Crossbones gets beat by everybody, to be honest. Like he's
Yeah,
he's he's
yeah, it's
he's a
like there should be
punching
no
bag.
argument there,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like people were literally saying, like, come on, guys, should he really be able to beat Crossbones? I'm like, bro, everyone is beating Crossbones.
Everybody's being
He's the
crossbow.
first level. Like, come on, man. Like he's the practice level. Like, I'm so
No,
serious.
exactly. He's the tutorial boss.
Yeah, literally, like that's what it is. But when he's like, I'ma just say it, he beat Black Panther. I don't care if somebody could comment, or he beat Black Panther, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean.
Mhm,
Black Panther fled the scene. You know what I mean. Like he,
mhm.
I got Sam won that fight. I don't care. But yeah, when things like that happen, a lot of people are kind of, well, like even if it's not the super soldier thing, people are saying like oh, like this plot armor or something like that. And like I find it strange, because like when it comes to characters that are human, like Batman,
Mhm,
Daredevil, Punisher, all these type of characters,
mhm.
they do crazy stuff like that all the time, and like
Fam!
those people don't comment on those videos.
Daredevil be fighting real life demons,
Yeah,
like
like literally, like it's so fun. I did like a social experiment where like I literally, well, like a comic experiment, whatever, where I made the video of of Sam, beating Steve, and then I made a
Mhm,
video about Daredevil beating Cap, like Steve.
mhm.
And then like the comments on the video, on the two videos, were very different.
Yep, yep,
Very different. So
yep.
I kind of want to think, like, I kind of want to ask you, like, what's your take on that? Like, why do you think, well, what's your take on it? Pretty much. That's basically what
Yeah, I mean, like, I think part of it is people like to argue. I think that's part of it. But I also think part of it speaks to their devotion not just to the characters but to the world that's been constructed, right? And we're always talking about, okay, canonically who's more powerful than who, but when they get this device, who's more powerful and does that change things? And oh, if they got the Phoenix Force, but this other person got the Phoenix Force and
yeah.
beat person A and da 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 da. Like, I get all of that. I also like I I think one thing that's true about me was I throughout the run, despite Sam's victories, like I wasn't afraid of having him like take his lumps. Like
Yeah.
it Sam's not invincible to me.
Right.
Like he's not invincible. And so I get what people are saying about plot armor and everything, but like if Sam needed to lose a fight, he would lose a fight.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, one, yeah, because like a lot of people talk. I've noticed that like people would talk about stuff they haven't really read. You know what I mean? So like I kind of like all right, like I'm gonna let the comments do what they do. Like we were like the previous dude who said like Bucky would
Oh, the
never do
Bucky.
so. Yeah. So I learned not to take like I'll take them serious to people who are actually being serious, but other people I've learned not to. But yeah, like Sam did take like his losses in his
Mhm.
comic, but the thing that makes it great, like even in the Black Panther fight, like he was getting battered in that fight, but
Yeah,
the important thing is that he never gave up. Like he kept persevering.
exactly,
Yeah, and that's what
exactly.
that's what I really love about these characters. That's what I want to see in these characters. I don't want to see you win every fight or lose every fight. I just want to see you persevere, and that's what Sam did. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I genuinely think that's what it's all about, and I just I appreciate everything in there. I'm gonna let you go in a little bit. You know what I mean? I know I know you probably have like a busy schedule. Maybe riding the next run, like riding the next.
I can neither confirm nor deny, right? Like that's my
Yeah.
that's my answer to all things. Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of want to talk about so your previous stories, like because like you said, you wrote many stories and stuff before diving into the world of comics. So I kind of want to like ask you, to give you like the spotlight to maybe like talk about them, like um like which one is your favorite, or like how did you kind of
Mm.
get into writing those?
Oh man. So Goliath, my latest novel, it came out in 2022. It's now out in paperback. Uh that's maybe one of my favorite things to have written. It's set in a post-apocalyptic New Haven, and it's about a group of black and brown like brick stackers who are trying to make a life for themselves once they start having to deal with gentrifiers from outer space.
Yeah.
And so that was a cool book to write. If you're looking for like a point of entry into my work, Riot Baby, which is my 2020 novella, is probably the easiest like window into how I write, what I like to write about, all of that. But I also have a very soft spot in my heart for my 2019 novel War Girls, which is about
Oh
it's a
yeah, I heard about that
futuristic
one.
retelling of the Nigerian Civil War. And it's basically Gundam in Nigeria. So if that sounds like it's in your wheelhouse, then I would recommend that.
Yeah. But so yeah, guys, like please check out the legend himself, Tochi's work, like across like everything, especially the comics. You know what I mean? I honestly I would
Mm,
recommend anyone your Captain America run for Sam. I think I think like it serves like as a solo story, like an entry point. Like I think like
yeah.
you would learn a good amount. Obviously, it's good to visit the stuff beforehand of how he got the show in the first place. But I think this is a great entry point, to be honest. Like I think it's overall amazing because I've even learned because I'm gonna keep it 100. Like White Wolf, I didn't know much about White Wolf before reading your run.
Yeah.
I didn't know much
Yeah.
about him at all. So when I read your run, I was able to learn more about White Wolf. Learn more about like even Black Panther. Missy Knight, I
Mhm.
knew about her before, but even learning more, and
Yeah.
overall, man, like this is definitely like one of my favorite Marvel runs ever. I need like if you don't bring my man Tochi like on the team for the next Captain America movie, at least just like use this run as inspiration. Like let this be the blueprint, please.
Mm.
But like
Mm.
bring Tochi on though. Like I would rather that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you could
Cut
get
the
the
check.
yeah
Cut
for
the
real.
check.
Yeah, for real. And get the amazing artists that worked on this too. Maybe they could write,
Oh yeah. Shout out to RB Silva.
yeah, for
Yep.
real. Like we could get like what is it? The storyboards, right? Where they do like the concept art.
Mm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
them, please. Like designing the suits and stuff, designing the new shield, please.
Mm. Mm.
Um, but yeah, man, it was fantastic interviewing you. Thank you for. There's still so much stuff. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've made about 15 videos, but like there's still so much more stuff, and
Nah, I appreciate that. And keep making your content, man. Keep making your content. Like it, you serve your audience well. So like thank you so much for having me. This was a blast. This was
bro,
an absolute blast.
thank you so much. Like I really appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, coming on here. Everyone, please go read Captain America Symbol of Truth, man. Please. And me personally, I've read Sentinel of Sentinel of I can't even talk. Um, yeah, I've read Symbol of Truth and Sentinel of Liberty. Personally, I love both of them. Both of them were fantastic
Yeah,
too.
oh yeah, no, Jackson Collin killed it with Sentinel there. And
Yeah,
Carmen Carnero on the art. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah, it's
goodness.
awesome. You know what
Like,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but if you maybe like don't have the money to buy both runs, you can. If you want to get the best of both worlds, if you want to get the best of both worlds, you could get read Cold War, but obviously you might want to watch like some breakdown videos to catch up like on what happened before. But yeah, man, this was a thank you for coming on here again. This was an amazing interview. Everyone go check out Tochi's work. Is there anything you want to say, man, like to cap it off?
I appreciate all the love. I really do. I mean, I've done a lot of dope stuff in my career. I've been very fortunate in that regard. Writing Symbol was probably the most intimidating, but simultaneously the most fulfilling thing that I've done in my entire writing career. And that is in large part due to y'all who showed me constant love throughout, like more than I could have ever expected. The entire community, all the people arguing
Yeah,
about
yeah,
whether or not
even them.
Sam got even y'all, like y'all made this such a meaningful experience for me, and I will be forever grateful. So thank you.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, man, like I mean, do we have to cap off the interview here? Because like I mean, like we could do this. I could do this all day. I could do this all
Oh no,
damn day. I could do this
I
all
gotta
damn day.
dip. I mean,
Yeah.
same, absolute
Yeah,
same. But
yeah, for sure.
I gotta dip it a little bit. But like,
But yeah, man, yeah,
I really appreciate you having me on.
yeah, 100%. It was great having you on, man. Thank you so much. Everyone like and subscribe, please. Shout out your social medias real quick before we leave.
Oh yeah, I'm on Insta mostly at Trey64. That is TREIZE64. Yes, that is a Gundam reference. Um, and I'm on Twitch at Tochi True Story. The new Mortal Kombat's dropping soon.
Oh
I got
yeah.
early access. So like, and
Oh,
I also stream Elden Ring there too. So I do game. I do game. I may not be a capital G gamer, but I do game. So follow me on Twitch. And then I got a Substack where I put out occasional writing at tochionyebuchi.substack.com. The name of the newsletter is Italics.
yeah, yeah, man. Please, everyone, go follow all of his social medias. Quick question before we leave: are you playing Spider-Man 2 when it comes out?
Yo, fam, I just replayed Miles Morales just
Oh
to
yeah,
like get back in. Yo,
that game's fire.
fam. Well, like I might wait a little bit because my backlog is like the way my backlog is set up. But like,
Yeah, yeah,
yo,
yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm definitely copping it. Definitely copping it. Of course, I have to. Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, it was great having you on here, man. I know I said that so many times. Thank you for making this amazing run. Everyone, go check it out. Check out his social medias, and yeah, man, I'm gonna catch you later.
Definitely. Take care, man. Blessings.
Yeah, blessings to you too, man. That went well, bro. That went well. That went great.